You guys don't need to worry about me getting revenge from Diddy. I've got 3 moves that make sure he'll never be able to come after me or my family. First, I personally reached out to the victims' legal teams. The real reason he's not getting out is those buried cases behind the scenes. I provided legal funding for 7 victims who had been silent for years and brought in the top criminal attorneys in the country. Second, I bought up every potential post-release business deal he had lined up. I planned this 2 years in advance, so by the time he got sentenced and still had hope of getting out, every partner had already cut ties with him. Third, I don't just have evidence, I've got backups. This is an entire minefield that's been buried for 20 years. I uncovered every secret from the last 30 years. With testimonies from the victims, we interviewed over a dozen people he tricked, threatened, or violated. You think that's harsh? No, he destroyed other people's lives for decades. I'm just making sure he spends a few extra years in prison for it. I'm not afraid of his people, not afraid of his threats. I know he's still in there fantasizing about a comeback, but the truth is, he's never coming back.
Now, it's really hard for y'all to discern what's real and what's true, you know? And I've been seeing y'all memes and stuff. People be making memes. I see the memes. I see them now. Some of that stuff is funny. Some of it's funny. But I haven't addressed any of this publicly, but I just want to say this very clearly. I don't have to do with Puffy, so y'all can stop all them memes. I can stop all of that. I ain't been nowhere near no damn freak off. Listen, I do enough of my own. Don't be putting me in the other.
For years, many of entertainment's most influential figures operated within a carefully maintained quiet. It was not the absence of questions that preserved it, but the cost attached to asking them. With 50 Cent's documentary now commanding attention, that long-standing silence faces disruption, methodically, not recklessly. As scrutiny returns to Diddy and renewed conversations surround Will Smith, a more pointed issue emerges. What remained hidden for so long?
Because I don't want to forget it. Your earrings just reminded me of Black Power, Black Excellence, and I just need your take on it because Emancipation comes out in 1 hour. Came out December 9th, which is today's the 9th, right?
That's such a fucking below the belt fucking question.
No, but I just got
It's the only below the belt question that you asked because you already know what's gonna happen. Don't front. We've been down there. Fuck Will Smith.
No, wait.
He can kiss my ass.
Wait.
He should have never slapped Chris. I'm not watching the movie.
Damn it.
It's not happening.
You don't understand. Do you understand why he slapped Chris? Did you see in that moment from probably what he was dealing with?
What was was he dealing with?
Shit, I don't know.
What the fuck was he dealing with?
Something made him slap his
No,
brother.
something didn't make him snap anything. He laughed at that badass joke that Chris said like every fucking body else. And then Jada looked at him and it was like the Manchurian Candidate.
Not the Manchurian. Not the Manchurian. God damn it.
That's what the fuck happened.
I thought there's a legion of women who say, I'm glad for Will fighting for his woman.
Yeah, because they still want to believe that that sham of a fucking marriage is real.
Well, there you go.
He ain't never gonna be Tupac, and she proved it when she fucked August Alsina.
Ooh, man. Yeah.
They're both bisexual. They do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house fucking screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mills, Bashir Gray.
By redefining silence itself as part of the narrative, the conversation shifts. Delay becomes less a pause and more a calculated defense. When institutions sustain themselves through avoidance, any decision to speak carries consequence. It unsettles long-standing balances of power. If silence functioned as influence for years, its erosion invites a sharper inquiry. What precisely was that quiet preserving?
It all started, we was in Atlanta. And this story starts when I'm with Puff and he's in the exotic bookstores and he's doing shopping, right? He's shopping, getting his stuff and everything like that. So, you know, this is the first time I was ever in an exotic bookstore with Puff. So, you know, I'm giving him his space. He's taking things off the shelves and stuff like that because they gave him a brown paper bag. When they gave him a brown paper bag, he was just putting stuff in there. So I said, damn, you know, he got to go put it on the counter and, you know, show everybody what he's getting. So as he's going, I'm just looking at the places where he's picking stuff from. So there's one part he picked up some things from up here on my left side. And then he picked like quite a few of them down. I'm like, okay. He put them in the bag. So when I went by there and I looked up there and it said butt plug. And I was like, hey, yo, I was messing with him because people don't understand, you know, we was like friends. He was a part of it. So I'm still going to tease him. I'm still going to mess with him and everything like that. I could do that. It wasn't just no security thing. So I say, yo, what are you getting this for? And it said butt plugs. And he was like, yo, can I do my shopping by myself? I said, yeah, you could do it by yourself, brother. And he started walking and everything like that. So when he got I just waited at the counter. So when he got to the counter, he didn't even have to show the guy nothing. He just gave the guy a wad of money. I mean, like he gave the guy a stack something like this. And Puff wasn't the dude that carried no 20s and no 50s and nothing like that. And I mean, like he just said, boom. And we walked out the store. So we had to leave Atlanta and go to North Carolina for a show. You understand? And it was him, this rapper, Sarah, and this other girl. We all got on a G5 jet, and we flew to G4 jet, and we flew to North Carolina.
What remained concealed was not a single incident, but a repeated pattern. Relationships normalized by status, proximity dismissed as coincidence.
sometimes you see things you don't want to see.
Hey, did they ever try to get you involved?
Not at all.
Or for you?
Not at all. Puff did it one time, but that's in my book. When he was coming from Dallas, he had the snow bunnies. And I reneged on that. Nah, I'm good.
Hey, did you see any celebrities Puffy did any of that stuff with? The swinger stuff with?
Yeah, I did.
Tell me about that.
I think I told you about that. One time, him and somebody, him, Sarah, and this young girl flew from Atlanta. And they, and flying from Atlanta, we had this artist with us, right? And we were staying in the presidential suite at the hotel. And this particular artist and Puff, they told me, don't let nobody come in the room. So I said, all right, cool. So I propped my chair by the...
Power rarely functions alone. It travels through proximity, rewarding those within its circle while quietly accumulating unseen exposure. In systems like that, distance is seldom instinctive. It is strategic. Choosing when to step back is not accidental restraint, but deliberate risk management shaped by calculation.
Movie Emancipation, how the fuck you gonna play in a movie called Emancipation and you can't emancipate yourself?
Ooh. Bars.
Cause you trapped in a hole. My nigga, you trapped in a hole. This bitch clowning you day after day after day after day. And once again, I hate saying these things because their children are dope. But Jaden's kind of MIA. And considering that he emancipated from their household at 16 and refused to come back even to do family interviews. You know?
Yeah.
Willow's just kind of, she's dope. Too much shit happened in that fucking house. Too much shit happened in that fucking house. And meanwhile, I go to jail for defending my child and these niggas don't even get a CPS fucking visit for the kind of shit they kids see.
Yeah.
You know?
There you go.
So yeah, I'll watch the movie when, I'll watch Emancipation when he emancipates himself from the hell that he lives in, that he tries to call marriage with that woman who still wished Tupac was alive. But enjoy the film, buy lots of popcorn. I ain't supporting shit he fucking do. He's a bad representation for black men. He is literally the epitome of a ballless man. I'm sick and tired of people making our black men look weak. I'm sick and tired of that shit because I don't know no nigga that would put up with the shit that bitch done put him through. Now you could justify staying because you ain't want to cut up the money because she would have got the child support and the alimony, but the kids is grown. So if you staying now, it's either because you being blackmailed to stay or you too lazy to go. He housebroken. That don't fit right for a Philly nigga. But he did grow up in Overbrook though. He didn't technically grow up in West Philly. That was Jazzy Just Life he was writing about. He lived over there, not far from where Kobe Bryant grew up. That's the other side of City Avenue. He came up Overbrook, so they had big houses and he wasn't at the playground get beat up. That was Jazzy Jeff.
The closer someone stands to influence, the higher the cost of early scrutiny. Immediate access can obscure deferred consequences. In that equation, timing is secondary. The deeper issue becomes responsibility, who absorbs the fallout when perception shifts and prior alignment is reassessed.
So I'm gonna get into this Diddy documentary that's been going on, man. It's still #1 as far as I know, man. I mean, I don't know how many millions of times this thing has been streamed, but this thing it's kind of crazy how big this thing actually is, because us that's been following for a really long time, kind of heard a lot of the stuff, man, but people are still going crazy for it, man. So what was your first reaction when you first seen it?
When I first seen it, I said, damn, they stole my whole damn idea. You understand? Because I was talking to the producers, and before I talked to the executive director, and the producers knew. I was telling them what I was bringing to the table, because I was trying to get a deal for me, Kirk, and Tim all together, like a package deal. I wanted to try to get like 50,000.
Will Smith's public separation marks a transition from prolonged restraint to intentional boundary setting. In the current media climate, a denial is not merely defensive. It signals that a narrative has crossed a consequential threshold. Delivered calmly and without escalation, it creates distance while limiting confrontation. Yet timing remains instructive. When separation emerges only after silence becomes untenable, it prompts reflection on earlier discretion. The underlying tension is not about wording, but about cost. What it demands to speak before reputational calculus makes distance unavoidable.
So I told them what we was bringing to the table, who was going to tell a story, how they was going to tell a story. You know, I didn't know exactly what they were going to say, but I knew Tim grew up with Puff, so he can get the childhood thing. So I'm going and telling them the whole angle in which I would like for this to go. You know what I'm saying? What we was bringing to the table. I didn't know how they was going to do it, but I was saying, this is what we're going to bring to the table. Tim could start off with the childhood part of it because they grew up together. That's Tim Dog, Tim Patterson. Also, you know, he was the one who was working at Uptown. He was executive over there of A&R and all that other stuff. He went to Island Records. He used to work with over there at Arista, the whole 9 yards. Tim is the one who had the Lost Boys. If you remember the Lost Boys, yeah, you know what I'm saying. Tim was the manager of them. That was his group and everything like that. So Tim had a lot of inside and a lot of stuff to do with Puff. I had a lot of other people I could have brought to the table too. Eddie F, who taught Puff how to work the board and everything like that. Just Eddie F, Heavy D, and the boys DJ. I was going to try to get Eddie and some other people like that, but it fell through because the lady was telling me what somebody else didn't give me or what somebody else didn't pay me, and she was being disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? I thought she was a white lady. I'm finding out she a sister.
A documentary alters the dynamics of engagement. By organizing fragmented events into structured chronology and context, 50 Cent redirects discussion from conjecture toward documented sequence. This shift is less about verdicts and more about emphasis, questioning why certain lines of inquiry stalled while others quietly dissolved from collective attention.
You know, Diddy has a long list is coming soon, so hit that like button, subscribe, and stay locked in to Cam Capone News.
Long-form
baby oil. Bro, listen to me. Costco don't sell that much baby oil. Where you know sell that much baby oil?
Yeah, I don't know any store that sell that much baby oil. I know Costco, they came out and said that they don't even sell baby oil.
My sentiments exactly.
But you
Bro, it's people might not understand. It's difficult when you see a brother that has so much promise become an icon as far as in the music business and stuff that he did, to turn around and just tear his whole life down. But
Exchanged for opportunity and safeguarded by fear of exclusion. When transparency threatens continuity, restraint appears rational, yet that logic exposes a deeper constraint. If candor jeopardizes survival within the structure, it raises an unavoidable consideration about how much openness the system was ever designed to sustain.